So this video is a little bit different. We're going to be talking about vacations. I get so many questions on how I plan my vacations, where do I figure out where I want to go, how much money am I actually spending, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of people who just don't really know how to go about planning a vacation, and just so many people thinking that you have to have this super expensive budget to even think about planning a vacation. And I'm just here to tell you that's a lie. Now, as someone who I would consider myself not a beginner traveler, but I definitely haven't been all around the world. I mean, it's next on my list though. And I've been to quite a few countries. I've been to Europe a few times. I've been to the Caribbean, really trying to make my way out to, of course, Africa, eventually Australia, and in Asia. But without further ado, let's just get right on into the video. So I've got everything on my phone, so if you see me looking down, that's why, okay? The first thing you need to do is figure out your budget. Now, you want to be realistic, okay? If you are trying to plan a trip from, let's say, DC all the way to Thailand, chances are you're not gonna find a flight for 300 bucks. Like, that's just not what it is. So be realistic when it comes to that. You might want to start off small if this is your first time planning like a real solid vacation, especially out the country. You kind of want to start small. So I know that from here to, say, Paris, you could get a flight for like $345 round trip. Yes, I have seen it. It exists. You can get a round trip for $345, maybe even $500, $700. It can even go into the thousands depending on when you're trying to go. And we will talk about more on that a little bit later in this video. So the second tip that I have would be choose your destination within your budget. Once again, if you only want to spend like, I don't know, let's say $1,000. Let's say you got $1,000 to spend, right? For both flight and hotel. First of all, you need to figure out where you're staying at, because that's typically, you could probably get 3 days in depending on where you're going. I would suggest staying in the States if you're just trying to get away for a little bit, because $1,000 is like, you could get by with $1,000, okay? But it just depends on where you go. So $1,000 can go a long way in the Caribbean. Mexico, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, maybe not so much the Bahamas. The Bahamas kind of, again, it just depends on where you go and how many people that you're planning on bringing with you. If you are doing this by yourself, you might want to stretch your budget a little bit just so you have like some comfort. Now, if you're planning to travel with friends, first of all, figure out how many people you want to bring with you, because 2 is a crowd, okay? 3 is a lot of people, like a lot of people. 3 people are way too much. There are tons of people who do successful group trips with, 4, 5, 6 plus people, and that's awesome. I've learned I am not one of those people that likes to do super huge group trips like that. Anything more than like one other person with me is entirely too much, because I hate opinions. Different topic for a different video, okay? So the third thing you want to do is obviously research hotel and Airbnb options once you figure out where you're gonna go, okay? If you're gonna go to Mexico, if you're gonna go to Costa Rica, Brazil, you wanna research what those options are to see what fits within your budget. And then, once again, like rule number 1, figuring out your budget, you're going to keep going back to that, because you're going to see what options that you have. You're going to see what's realistic for you and what's going to make you comfortable. For me, my number 1 priority besides comfortability is also safety. You want to feel safe. Don't go to the hood of whatever country you're in just because you want to say, oh, I went to another country. Okay, but baby, you want to be safe. You gotta be safe. You don't want to be in a situation where you might start hearing random shootouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Just to say you're in another state, just to say you're in another country, you don't want to do that. So do your research on the options that are available. Point blank period. So the fourth tip that I have is obviously researching flights. So here's the thing, flexibility is key. I find that the best times to book a flight would be for typically September and August. That's when I like to do a lot of my trips because it's off-peak season, and that's when people are starting to go back to work, starting to go back to school, and flights are just generally cheaper around that time. So again, this just goes into doing your research on where you're going, because September in whatever city you're in right now might feel super hot, whereas the destination you're looking to go into, it could be kind of cool. So you want to do your research on not just the hotel options and the flight options, but obviously the weather. What is the weather like during the month that you're trying to go? You feel what I'm saying? All right, tip 5, research excursions and things to do. So you found your place that you want to go to, you found a nice looking flight, you found a good Airbnb or hotel, and now you're trying to figure out, okay, what can I do in this city? Research, Google, TripAdvisor, all of those things are absolutely wonderful. Depending on where you're going, your hotel may be able to hook you up with a what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I guess kind of like a travel advisor, like someone who handles excursions. I personally loved going to Cancun, and I stayed at the what is now called Royalton Chic Resort, all inclusive, and there was a guy there who had like his own office, and he had like all these excursions, so all these different brochures, and he was just giving me so many different options on the excursions that they had out in Cancun. So there was ATV riding, there was kayaking, I did a yacht boat tour. So we were on this $1 million yacht, and we went to Isla Mujeres. I had some bomb nachos, and I got a massage on the beach. Which, by the way, honey, if you're gonna go to Cancun, if you're gonna go to places, you know, down south, they like negotiating. All right, that's all I got to say. Number 6, book your flights. So when it comes to booking your flight, I find the best deals, honestly, are late at night between the hours of like 10 p.m. and maybe 2 a.m. Why is that? I don't know. And again, flexibility is key here. When you plan a vacation, you're going to get the best deals on weekdays. Weekends are always going to be so much more expensive, whether it's a flight, hotel, whatever. You're going to have so much more flexibility with your money if you're able to book for weekdays rather than weekends. I don't like doing my trips during weekends, especially if I'm staying like 4 nights somewhere. I'm more prone to do it Monday through Friday, just because I know the hotel rates will definitely be cheaper, as well as my flights. Leaving on, if you could leave on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, those are usually the best days to fly because they are the cheapest. That's what I find personally. But again, when you book it during like, you know, off-peak hours, 9, 10 o'clock at night, whatever, you're definitely prone to getting better deals. And lastly, number 7 would be booking your hotel. So you've done all this research, you figured out where you wanted to go, you figure out what your budget is, maybe it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, whatever. You figured out your budget, you figured out what you're trying to do, you figured out, okay, these are some nice places that I can go visit, whether it's a museum, a mall, or, you know, a church, whatever it is that you're trying to do. You figured out, okay, who's coming with me, who might come with me, yada, yada, yada. Now it's time to book that hotel, sis. Book your hotel. I actually prefer to book my flight first just because the prices fluctuate more pretty much every single day type of thing, right? But you know, from my experience, booking the flight first and then worrying about the hotel is a lot better than stressing over, you know, the hotel and then trying to figure out, okay, are the dates that I chose for the hotel even like the dates that I really want to go? When it comes to booking hotels, I personally like to use Orbitz. No, this is not a sponsored video, but I am an Orbitz queen. They have good deals on there. They have, when you sign up, you get like a membership price on some of the hotel rooms. The only thing about booking through those third-party sites though, keep in mind, even though you can get better deals on those websites, a lot of these resorts, a lot of these hotels tend to prioritize people who book through the hotel first. So sometimes when you're booking through a third party, they kind of just put you wherever, regardless of the room that you chose. And yeah, so people are prioritized when you book through the actual website versus a third party. But again, third party sites are great when you want to save a little bit of money so that you have money for food, money for your excursions, money for, God forbid, emergency situations, whatever the case may be. These are all things that you want to think about. Oh, and also bonus tip, because I totally forgot to mention this, transportation. Fit that in your budget too. Figure out how you're getting around town. If you're staying in a city where there aren't like all-inclusive resorts, because honestly, if you're at an all-inclusive resort, you don't have to leave that resort. You feel what I'm saying? So if you're staying at a place where it's hotels, city vibes, whatever, you can walk around kind of thing, you want to figure out transportation to your hotel and from your hotel. I like using private transportation companies because I don't like the idea of sharing a shuttle with people I don't know, especially during Corona time. Because as I'm recording this video, we are still in the middle of a panorama. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, private transportation companies, they're awesome. I highly recommend them just to get to and from your hotel, and also factor in maybe taxi costs, Uber costs, Lyft costs, just because wherever you are, whether you're in New York City, Milan, or, you know, just somewhere where you're not able to kind of walk where you really need to go, like maybe it's a 10-minute drive, you want to factor in those costs, you know? So when you choose your budget, again, be realistic, because if you're someone who's just now getting into this, real talk, you cannot have a filet mignon standard with a McDonald's chicken nugget income. But yeah, you just want to be realistic with the things that you are searching for. But anywho, these are just a few of my tips on how to plan a vacation. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you want more videos on like how to budget, different ways to save, and things like that for your vacation, let me know in the comment section below and I'll get right on those videos. But other than that, that's all I got for today. So once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.